This is after 34 years that a visit of the level of Prime Minister is taking place to Austria. The last visit took place in 1992.
The Prime Minister of Pakistan is coming in tomorrow. How would you define the significance of his visit?
It marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Pakistan and Austria in 1956. And this is after 34 years that a visit of the level of Prime Minister is taking place to Austria. The last visit took place in 1992. And there has been a sort of communication gap between Pakistan and one of the most important countries of European Union. It might not be a large country, but it is very significant in terms of being the capital of international diplomacy, multilateralism, and international negotiations.
Can you give us a small preview of Prime Minister's engagements here?
Yeah, the Prime Minister will be arriving tomorrow, and early day after tomorrow, he will be meeting the Austrian chancellor, who is his host in Austria. There will be tete-a-tete between the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of Austria, followed by bilateral delegation level meetings between both the countries, which will cover all the issues on the agenda between the two countries. That will be followed by a CEO's forum. That is a forum of the leadership of leading companies from Pakistan and Austria, specifically those Austrian companies which are already doing business in Pakistan. And that meeting will be co-chaired by the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of Austria. The Chancellor of Austria, since he will be co-chairing, that sends a very strong signal in Austria's interest in increasing its economic collaboration with Pakistan as well. In the afternoon, the Prime Minister will also chair a business forum where a larger group of companies from both the sides will be there. And after that, he will be proceeding to the UN premises in Vienna, where he will be the keynote speaker at a special event which is being organized by the mission, and it is on sustainable development, pathways for peace and security.
But you mentioned something about 1992, that the last visit of any Prime Minister from Pakistan was in 1992. That's a long time. So 34 years, no other Prime Minister has come and visited him. And not many people in Pakistan would understand the significance of a capital like Vienna. If you could break it down for a layman like us, why Vienna is important for Pakistan or the world over?
Vienna is hosting the International Atomic Energy Agency, which deals with peaceful cooperation in nuclear technology. It is also hosting United Nations Industrial Development Organization, as well as the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes. And all these three agencies of the UN are the agencies with which Pakistan has very strong country programs. And these agencies deal with those issues which are priority areas for Pakistan. We have benefited a lot from the IAEA's technical cooperation program in terms of our peaceful nuclear power generation program, in terms of cancer diagnostic and treatment, in terms of new varieties of crop which are more climate resistant. Similarly, industrial development and modernization of industries, transition of energy to low carbon pathways is one of our priorities, and UNIDO is specifically helping us in that. With regard to the UN ODC, we are facing a problem of drugs from Afghanistan. So the Office on Drugs and Crimes becomes very important for us in terms of capacity building, in terms of technical assistance to deal with that problem. So we have a country program with that, with them, and the Prime Minister, during this visit of the Prime Minister, we will be signing a new country program with them from 2026 to 2030.
Lastly, there are a large number of Pakistani students here in Austria, and I'm sure the embassy facilitates them. Can you talk about the number of students that we have here and how the embassy acts them?
Well, let me tell you about Pakistan-Austria education cooperation, which is not very well known in Pakistan. Pakistan and Austria have a very long-term relationship in the field of education. Our PhD students started coming to Austria following the HEC program in 2012. And in the last 14 years, we have had around 400 PhD students who've completed their studies in Austria and gone back to Pakistan. And right now we have around 500 students who are at the undergraduate, postgraduate and doctoral level doing their studies in various universities of Austria, mostly in the fields of science and technology and engineering. And besides that, there is that Park Austria Institute of Science and Technology in Haripur, which was built in collaboration with 11 Austrian high tertiary universities, tertiary level institutions, and 5 Chinese institutions. The Park Austria Institute of Science and Technology in Haripur is called the Park Austria Fachhochschule, and we are about to establish a new branch of Fachhochschule in Sialkot as well. So the Austrian expertise we are utilizing in terms of training our manpower in the field of industries and engineering inside Pakistan, so they can then drive the industrial development in Pakistan.
I'd ask you a tough question in terms of, comparing it with other countries, because as a diplomat, I understand it's a little difficult to say that. But when you compare the education sector that Pakistan, the cooperation that Pakistan has with Austria, vis-a-vis education sector, and you look at other countries, for example, there's a large chunk of US aid component. Pakistani students go to the US, to the UK, and other countries. If you were to compare in terms of the number of students or just a program, where would you rate Austria?
Well, I think we should avoid that comparison because Austria is not an English-speaking country. So naturally, it won't ever be the first choice of Pakistani students because most of the Pakistani students prefer to go to an English-speaking country. Yet, many Pakistani students prefer Austrian universities because they are mostly public sector universities in Austria and they have a very nominal fee. So it's very affordable to study in Austria, and you just have to learn the German language up to C1 level. And if you know that, then it is a very good country for you to study. They have a very acute shortage of trained manpower, and if you do well in your studies, you can very easily get absorbed in this economy.